This is the voice of the Mysterons. We know that you can hear us,
Kerbal.
men. You attacked our complex on
Juna.
and you will pay a heavy price.
Hello, I am Angelus2141. This is Kerbal Space Program, and yes, you did hear correctly at the beginning of the video. The evil Mysterons from Captain Scarlett and the Mysterons seem to have invaded the Kerbal universe, and have decided to take vengeance on us for some apparent slight that we inflicted upon them on Juna, which is really weird considering I've never actually got to Juna. I've only ever been to Minmus. But regardless, they are a threat to our continued survival, and we need some kind of plane to combat them. And thankfully our engineers have come up with the perfect design. That's right, the Angel Interceptor from Captain Scarlett and the Mysterons. So I was watching one of Guard 1007, if you can use that, because I'm not sure you can with the rules regarding the James Bond franchise and who owns it, or Guard 1007 or Guard whatever the hell he is. I was watching one of his videos about subscriber designs, and I saw a plane that kind of inspired me to make this. I can't remember which one it was, but the front of it just looked right, and it reminded me of the Angel Interceptor, and so I decided to make this little beauty. Now, the keen-eyed among you will recognise there are some flaws and errors. Firstly, and most notably, it has two engines rather than one, which is what the Angel Interceptors had. However, I can't get very much thrust from just one. Look, it's terrible. But if we go with two, it's awesome. Also, in the original Angels, I'm talking about the original Captain Scarlett, by the way, not the redone CGI thing. I'm talking puppets and live-action hands and whatever else they had. But in the original, which I watched as a kid, and maybe a little while ago as a something-year-old man, this just seemed right for me to build. Now, the original one also had this tailplane here, but it was the same size as the wings, but I didn't really want to go that way, and it seemed fine. The angles on here are probably too rakish and too far out, and the skids I've put on because the Angel Interceptors had some kind of pontoon thing, but I couldn't find anything that would go well or look good. Also, the Angels had a little sort of bevel here, an outward bevel, and then came back in. I did make that on one version, it didn't work very well, so I binned it. And this was the result of what I was able to make. Unfortunately, because there are no skids that can come down in just vanilla, well, I say vanilla, the skids are from Kerbal Foundries? Yeah, Kerbal Foundries. But there are no like general vanilla ones, and I want to keep this as vanilla as possible. And this is what I came up with, and I think it looks pretty good compared to the original Angel Interceptors. But of course, what you're wondering right now is, does it fly? Well, let's find out. Now, you will notice for some reason, after a little bounce, it starts to build up speed because there are no brakes. It's on skids. There are literally no brakes on this thing whatsoever. But we will activate SAS and RCS. It does have some RCS, although it's probably really not necessary. So we'll try without it. So we must have some Mysterons incoming from somewhere.
Angel 1, immediate launch.
Yes, I know it's not very immediate launch, but still, you know, it's not on Skybase. Now, I don't know if the comics had it before Captain Scarlett, but Skybase was the first working sky carrier that I ever heard of. Well before those bloomin' helicarriers in the Avengers. Regardless, we're up. So yes, it does take off. It does pitch very well. The rest of it, not so much. So we'll roll. Roll's okay, not great, and it does tend to impact the pitch. Yaw, again, not exceptionally great, but something you can live with. Now, I don't have BD armor or anything like that, so there's no weapons on it, but I just thought it looked awesome. So you have to imagine like a big A painted here. But yes, I remember as a child, and maybe not that long ago, watching Destiny Angel and Rhapsody Angel and Melody Angel and the other one, which I can't remember, flying these things and firing rockets and blowing up Mysteron craft, or Mysteron controlled craft anyway, or Mysteron bad guys, and you'd always hear that Skybase immediate launch thing, and then these guys were on the way. Now, landing is a bit tricky. You don't have any brakes, as I've said, so when you come into land, you can land. I've done it, it works, but I've put 2 drogue parachutes on the back to slow you down, and that's about all you've got really. So to try and compensate for this and actually stop you, at least for a moment or so, I put some RCS in, and I've got a forward firing thruster. I've actually got several thrusters around the front too, in case I need to use them to control angle attack or something like that. But that monopropellant is really literally the only way you can slow down. The parachutes will get you down, but not to a complete stop, unfortunately. So we'll try and, if I screw this up now, it's going to be really embarrassing. I'm not taking it out of the video because I've already started, so easy. 10, let's kill the engine. 6, we want to keep a gentle downward slope as we come down to fast. That's annoying. I know what we'll do. So, as I mentioned, we start to build up a little bit of speed here, but just ignore the crash, stop talking about it. Didn't happen. So yes, monopropellant out the nose, and we stop. And that allows us to recover the vessel. But then you will start to build up speed again. And kill those engines. So we're now just going to keep steadily going forward, so if we deploy the parachute, you see they've stopped. They're still just going up in speed. These skids just don't have any brakes somehow. It's like they're frictionless or something. So yeah, you would never stop otherwise, so you've got to go to monopropellant. And it does take a while to slow down using a forward firing nozzle monopropellant in atmosphere. But I'm not putting wheels on it because it didn't have wheels. It had skids. Of course, it also had a skybase that it landed at, and the landings were really weird. I mean, literally, this thing would come in at like a 45-degree angle and somehow manage to slow itself down to land on what was essentially a piece of the runway angled at 45 degrees that would somehow catch it and it would stop. Now, it might have had magnets or something, but how did it slow down? From what I can remember, I don't think these things had VTOL capability. I might be wrong. It was a while ago. I'm not going to say exactly how long, but it was a while ago. Yeah, I just thought this was an interesting design. I was actually in the process of trying to create a series around station building and some other stuff, which one of the videos is already up, so you can go and have a look at that if you'd like. And I got distracted because I like to watch YouTube videos on KSP and the different designs people come up with. Saw that one and thought, wow, that looks like an Angel Interceptor at the front. I wonder if I can make an Angel Interceptor. And as it turns out, I can. Anyway, that's it for this short video. I just wanted to show you the design. I will try and get a link up for it in the description for my Google Drive, so you can download this thing if you want. Remember, you will have to have Kerbal Foundries installed for these skids. Everything else is stock, and you can build it regardless of the skids. So yeah, just wanted to show you the Angel Interceptor in action. Okay guys, I will see you later. Take care.